Admiral Jake Morrison floated effortlessly in zero gravity, gazing out of the panoramic window of his command station. All he could see was the blackness of space, dotted with cold, distant stars. To the untrained eye, it was just another patch of empty space. But hidden just a few miles away was the biggest secret in human history. Jake tapped a button on the sleek wrist console wrapped around his arm. "Lisa, status update on new Terra." The voice of Chief Engineer Lisa Carter crackled through the comms, crisp and confident. "We're at 96% completion, Admiral. The main engines are prepped for testing, and armor plating is finished on sections 12 through 18. We're ahead of schedule." Jake grinned. After 30 years of backbreaking work, they were almost there. New Terra wasn't just a ship, it was a moon-sized colossus capable of wiping out entire fleets in a single strike. And the best part? No one outside the project had a clue it even existed. Commander Ryan Phillips drifted up beside Jake, joining him at the window. Ryan was the man responsible for keeping New Terra's existence a secret. He looked worn out, but satisfied. "The Federation still thinks we're just out here mining asteroids," Ryan said, smirking. "Their spy satellites catch our teams hauling rocks and metal. They have no idea what we're really up to." Jake gave a knowing nod. The Galactic Federation had always underestimated humanity. Ever since humans were accepted into the Federation 50 years ago, they'd been treated like cosmic janitors, given the grunt work of mining, building, hauling. The alien races saw them as too primitive, too basic to contribute anything of real value. But humans had a knack for surprising people. Jake remembered how it all started. The Federation had been dazzling at first. Advanced civilizations, towering intellects, miraculous technologies. The Vorak, tough, reptilian warriors. The Kreen, insect-like and unmatched in construction. And the Ethereals, beings of pure energy, self-proclaimed geniuses of the galaxy. Humans had come in wide-eyed and hopeful, eager to learn, eager to collaborate. But instead of mutual respect, they were handed mining tools and blueprints for space stations they didn't design. They were paid, sure. But never respected. Never truly included. Deep inside New Terra, Dr. Amanda Foster, one of humanity's finest minds, was in her element. The weapons lab buzzed with activity as Amanda ran final diagnostics. "The main cannon's ready for initial test," Amanda announced over the ship-wide comms. "But we need to stay cautious. If we fire it at full capacity, every sensor in the system will pick up the signature." Jake understood perfectly. Decades of secrecy couldn't be ruined now. If the Federation found out what New Terra really was before it was time, they'd either panic or try to destroy it. Maybe both. "Run the test at 10%, Jake said. "Aim into the dead zone between Jupiter and Saturn. If anyone asks, we'll say it was a mining explosion." Out on the edge of the asteroid belt, Captain Ben Taylor scanned the region from his patrol ship. His mission was clear: spot and neutralize any unwanted visitors. So far, security had been airtight. No one unauthorized had come close. Ben's ship looked like a standard patrol vessel, same weapons, same shields. But beneath the surface, it was loaded with high-tech jammers and spoofing systems. If any Federation scout stumbled into the area, Ben could make sure they saw only what they were meant to see. The asteroid belt was the perfect camouflage. With thousands of rocks drifting through space, New Terra blended right in. From the outside, it looked like a massive hunk of rock. Just another mining operation. But inside, it was a miracle of engineering: cities, farms, factories, military hubs. It could house 1 million people indefinitely and wage war on a galactic scale. Colonel Steve Parker handled secure communications with Earth. Each month, he sent encrypted updates to the President and military high command. Only a select few on Earth knew about Project Titan. Most of humanity still believed the asteroid belt was just full of miners. Steve sat across from Jake during their weekly meeting. Earth Command wants to know when we'll be ready to launch Operation Horizon, Steve said. Jake rubbed his chin, thinking it through. Tell them we need 3 more months. Weapons testing is close, but we have to finish crew training. When we step into the spotlight, there's no room for mistakes. Meanwhile, Lisa Carter inspected the engine room herself. These weren't ordinary thrusters. The propulsion system powering new Terra was beyond anything the Federation could imagine. Our engines can hit twice the speed of the fastest Federation warship, Lisa told her team, her voice full of pride. And they're so quiet, we'll be on top of the enemy before their sensors even blink. Ryan Phillips had his hands full, too. He monitored galactic comms, intelligence chatter, secret Federation briefings. The verdict? The aliens were still completely in the dark. The Vorak are expanding their military, Ryan reported. Looks like they're planning something big. The Ethereals are worried but can't get the Federation Council to agree on a response. Jake wasn't surprised. The Federation had always been dysfunctional. Each species pulled in its own direction. No unity. No strategy. Just bureaucracy and politics. That's why New Terra existed. The galaxy wasn't safe for weak civilizations. Peace was temporary, maintained by those in power. Humanity had learned that the hard way. But they weren't weak anymore. In the Weapons Control Center, Amanda Foster made final calibrations to the ship's targeting systems. Her creations could obliterate targets millions of miles away with pinpoint precision. The Federation's best ships wouldn't even know what hit them. We're not just building a warship, Amanda told her assistant. We're building a promise. A promise that humanity will never be pushed around again. Back in the command center, Jake reviewed the latest progress updates. 3 months. That's all they needed. Then the veil would be lifted, and the galaxy would finally see what humans were truly capable of. The Federation had made a grave mistake. They had handed humanity blueprints, tools, materials, convinced that humans could only follow instructions. Instead, humans had taken those gifts and built a weapon that could shift the balance of galactic power forever. Soon, the secret would be revealed. And everything would change. Captain Ben Taylor was halfway through his regular patrol route when alarms blared across his console. Emergency signals poured in, lighting up his dashboard like a starship festival. Multiple distress calls. Zephyr system, high priority emergency, the computer announced. Ben's stomach dropped. The Zephyrians were a peaceful race, scientists, artists, philosophers. Their homeworld, Zephyr Prime, was famous for its crystalline cities and libraries that spanned entire continents. They were no threat to anyone. Ben immediately rerouted his ship, engaging full burn toward the Zephyr system. As his vessel exited hyperspace, he saw a nightmare unfolding. Hundreds of Vorak warships swarmed the space around Zephyr Prime. The sky over the planet was filled with weapons fire, explosions, and desperate escape attempts. It wasn't a military conflict, it was a massacre. Ben activated the Federation emergency channel. This is Captain Ben Taylor, Human Patrol Vessel Liberty. I am witnessing a massive Vorak fleet attacking civilian targets in the Zephyr system. Requesting immediate Federation intervention. A robotic voice responded almost immediately. Captain Taylor, please file a formal incident report. The Federation Council will review your complaint and respond within 7 to 10 standard days. Ben stared at the display, stunned. Operator, they're murdering millions right now. This isn't a border dispute, this is genocide. Captain, please follow proper protocol. Military intervention requires full council approval. He couldn't believe what he was hearing. The Federation, with all its rules and regulations, was just going to sit back and watch this happen. Through his ship's viewport, Ben watched Zephyr Prime's gleaming cities, works of art carved from crystal mountains, explode into dust. Vorak ships unleashed their weapons with merciless precision, leveling entire continents. Refugee ships scrambled to flee, but they were easy targets. Ben could hear the desperate, terrified voices over his comms as families were annihilated mid-flight. He wanted to help. God, he wanted to help. But his small patrol ship, armed with basic weaponry, was no match for an armada. Attacking would be suicide. All he could do was record everything and pray someone would care. Back on Earth, President Kate Williams was enjoying a quiet breakfast when her emergency communicator buzzed. She answered instantly. Colonel Steve Parker appeared on screen, visibly shaken. "Madam President, you need to see this right now. The Vorak Empire has launched a full-scale assault on the Zephyrian colonies. Captain Taylor is transmitting live footage." Kate sprinted to the Situation Room, where her top military officials were already gathered. On the main screen, they watched the horrors unfolding on Zephyr Prime. Entire cities were being erased in seconds. "What's the Federation's response?" she asked. Colonel Parker's face darkened. "They say they need council votes, procedural delays, paperwork. By the time they act, there won't be a single Zephyrian left alive." Kate felt rage boiling inside her. The Zephyrians had never hurt anyone. And now they were being exterminated, and the so-called guardians of peace were hiding behind red tape. She made a decision. "Get me Admiral Morrison. Secure line. Now." Far out in the asteroid belt, deep inside the command center of New Terra, Jake received the call he had known would come one day. President Williams appeared on his private screen. Her face was hard, her voice firm. "Jake. I'm authorizing protocols 7 through 9. It's time." Jake gave a solemn nod. "Understood, Madam President. New Terra will be ready in 6 hours." Dr. Amanda Foster sat in the Weapons Control Center when the authorization came through. Her heart beat faster. For 20 years, she had poured her soul into designing the most powerful weapons ever conceived. And though she had hoped they'd never need to be used, she always knew this day might come. "All weapon systems online," Amanda reported. "Main cannon charging. Secondary batteries standing by. We're fully operational." Across New Terra, things sprang to life. Commander Ryan Phillips activated a sprawling web of surveillance systems. The intelligence network humanity had secretly built over 5 decades lit up like a constellation. Data poured in from every corner of the galaxy. "The Vorak have deployed their entire military," Ryan said grimly. "This isn't just a rogue strike, they're hitting every Zephyrian colony. Simultaneously. It's a coordinated extermination." General Marcus Kane took his seat on the bridge of New Terra. The warship's command center, built into a hidden structure resembling a rocky mountain, came alive with activity. "All systems report ready," Kane announced. "We can reach the Zephyr system in 4 hours at max burn." Down in engineering, Lisa Carter oversaw the startup of New Terra's engines. She watched with pride as the systems roared to life. The massive ship began accelerating with speed no one thought possible for something its size. Faster than any known warship. Quieter than any Federation scanner could detect. Captain Sarah Johnson, monitoring galactic communications, tracked the reactions from across space. The Ethereals are calling emergency council sessions. The Krelland hives are pulling their fleets back to protect their homeworlds. Everyone's panicking. Meanwhile, in the Zephyr system, Captain Ben Taylor kept recording as Zephyr Prime crumbled. He transmitted directly to Earth Command, his voice quiet and strained. "This is Taylor. Zephyr Prime, it's gone. The Vorak are wiping out every last Zephyrian. I estimate 12 hours until their operation is complete." Aboard New Terra, Admiral Morrison listened to the grim report as his ship surged forward like a sleeping giant waking from hibernation. They had designed the vessel to appear as nothing more than another asteroid. But inside, it was alive with purpose and fury. "All departments," Jake called over the comms, "we're about to show the galaxy what humanity is really capable of. The Vorak chose this path. We will respond." Dr. Amanda Foster performed final calibrations on the main cannon. It was housed within a mountain-sized structure, an entire continental shelf turned into a single weapon. When it fired, it would unleash more energy than most stars could produce in a year. Back on Earth, President Williams stood before the Emergency Council of Human Leadership. "For 50 years, we've played by the rules," she said. "We've honored Federation law. We've been dismissed, disrespected, underestimated. But we will not stand by while innocent species are slaughtered." She scanned the room, locking eyes with every general, scientist, and diplomat. "Today, the galaxy will learn, some lines cannot be crossed." As new Terra closed in on the Zephyr system, its weapon systems glowed to life. The massive ship moved silently, its engines masked, its purpose clear. The Vorak fleet, still celebrating their one-sided victory, noticed something odd on their sensors. Admiral Kresh, a Vorak officer, called. "Something's approaching. Fast. Enormous gravitational signature, but it's not a ship." The reptilian commander hissed, amused. "A rogue planet? That's absurd. Probably sensor malfunction." But it wasn't. It was new Terra. A planet that moved like a starship. From his place on the bridge, General Kane reported in. "We are in position. The Vorak are regrouping, but they're still not sure what we are." Jake stood tall. It was time. Open comms. Every galactic frequency. Let's say hello. The massive communications array hidden beneath New Terra's artificial mountain ranges powered on, transmitting on every open channel across the galaxy. It reached star ships, space stations, and capital worlds. The time for secrecy was over. "This is Admiral Jake Morrison of the Terran Defense Force, aboard the warship New Terra," Jake's voice echoed through space. "Vorak fleet, you have exactly 1 hour to withdraw from Zephyrian space and surrender for trial. If you do not comply, we will consider your actions a declaration of war." A silence followed. Then laughter. Rough, gravelly, condescending laughter filled the Vorak frequencies. "Humans," roared Admiral Kresh, commander of the Vorak fleet. "You pitiful laborers think you can threaten the Vorak Empire? We have 3,000 of the most powerful warships in the galaxy. And you have, what? One big rock." The mocking spread like wildfire through the Vorak fleet. To them, it was a joke. The primitive builders, trying to sound tough. But on the planet Korth, the homeworld of the Ethereal Council, the mood was far from amused. Beings of pure energy flickered with concern. They had always believed humans were decades, centuries, behind. But their advanced sensors showed something else. The approaching object was not natural. It was enormous. And very much artificial. "This cannot be," Elder Zephin whispered. "Humanity does not possess the capability to construct something of this magnitude." But the data didn't lie. In the Krelland hives, millions of insectoid drones paused their endless construction routines. The Kree had worked with humans for decades. They had supervised human-built space stations. Helped them mine rare metals. Now, they realized they hadn't been supervising. They had been helping build something beyond comprehension. Queen Vesa transmitted to her fellow hive queens. "The humans we knew could not build this. Either they are not what we believed, or we were blind." Back near Zephyr Prime, deep inside New Terra's weapons systems, Dr. Amanda Foster stood calmly at her post. "All systems charging," she reported. "Main cannon will be ready in 30 minutes. Secondary batteries are ready now." The readings on her console were mind-bending. The energy buildup was unprecedented. It took entire sections of the ship offline just to redirect enough power to the main weapon. But it was working. Admiral Kresh watched the strange planet growing larger on his tactical screens. His sensor text showed the energy levels, and for the first time, there was doubt in his voice. "That much power can't be real," he growled. "No weapon generates that kind of energy and survives." Still, he wasn't about to back down. "Fire a warning shot. Let's scare these builders back into their caves." Vorak ships opened fire. Hundreds of beams and missiles shot toward New Terra. The same firepower that had destroyed Zephyrian cities now targeted the mysterious planet. The impacts were devastating. Explosions rippled across New Terra's surface. But when the smoke cleared, nothing had changed. No breaches. No flames. Just a few scorched marks on the armor. Jake watched from the command center, unfazed. "They're testing us," he muttered. "Fine. Let them see what real power looks like." Commander Ryan Phillips monitored galactic communications as messages flooded in. "Every major government is scrambling," Ryan said. "They don't know whether to panic or plead. Half of them think this is fake. The other half are trying to reach Earth directly." On Earth, President Kate Williams watched the battle unfold with her advisors. The images were clear: humanity had built something unstoppable. And the galaxy was just beginning to realize it. Captain Sarah Johnson, intercepting encrypted transmissions, relayed the panic. "The ethereals are recalculating their entire understanding of our tech. The Kree are reviewing all their construction logs. Every species is talking about us. And none of them are mocking anymore." Admiral Morrison nodded. It was time to finish the demonstration. Charge the main cannon to full power. Deep in New Terra's core, Lisa Carter initiated the final sequence. The artificial mountain concealing the weapon split open like a flower, revealing a weapon as large as a city. Machines the size of buildings hummed and roared as the energy surged into the cannon. Admiral Kresh, watching the rising energy levels, realized this was no bluff. "Prepare evasive maneuvers," he barked. "Fire everything we have at their weapon systems." The Vorak fleet unleashed everything. 3,000 warships opened fire at once. Planet-busting firepower slammed into New Terra. Waves of destruction lit the sky. And yet, the planet ship held steady. General Marcus Kane watched calmly from the bridge. "Damage report?" Lisa replied, "Some heat scarring on the outer hull. No structural damage. Systems fully operational." Kresh's officers looked at their commander in disbelief. Nothing had ever survived that kind of attack. Nothing. And still, New Terra advanced. Admiral Morrison gave the final order. "Dr. Foster, you are cleared to fire." Amanda's hand hovered for a heartbeat above the firing control. Then, with quiet resolve, she pressed it. Main cannon firing. What followed was not a beam. Not in the traditional sense. It was destruction itself. A column of energy wider than a space station erupted from New Terra's weapon. The light blinded sensors across the sector. The energy levels exceeded those of most suns. It wasn't a weapon. It was an extinction-level event, refined and aimed with surgical precision. The beam tore through the Vorak fleet like it was made of paper. Warships disintegrated in microseconds. Entire squadrons vanished without a trace. Metal, flesh, circuitry, reduced to atoms. Admiral Kresh's last thoughts weren't of glory or conquest. They were of disbelief. And then he, too, was gone. In just 17 seconds, the most powerful fleet in the galaxy ceased to exist. Captain Sarah Johnson stared at her monitors, speechless. "The Vorak fleet has been completely destroyed," she reported. "Not one ship remains." Across the galaxy, silence followed. Then chaos. Every major government tried to contact Earth. Every Federation Council member stopped what they were doing. The Ethereal Council demanded emergency negotiations. The Krelland hives pulled back all their fleets. No one wanted to be next. On Korth, Elder Zephan whispered to his aides, "We were wrong. So very wrong. Contact Earth. Immediately." Queen Vesa transmitted across her empire, "Do not provoke humanity. Offer assistance. Avoid threats. Send everything we have to support their peacekeeping efforts." Captain Ben Taylor, still stationed near the ruins of Zephyr Prime, reported in. "This is Taylor. Vorak fleet destroyed. New Terra is unharmed. Area secure." Back aboard the planet ship, Ryan Phillips sifted through intelligence chatter. "No military buildups anywhere," he said. "Everyone's going quiet. Standing down. They're scared." Rightfully so. President Kate Williams stood before the global government. "The demonstration is complete," she said. "The galaxy now understands, we will not tolerate genocide. We will not tolerate violence against innocents." Admiral Morrison broadcast one final message across the stars. "This is Admiral Jake Morrison, aboard New Terra. What you witnessed today is the result of 50 years of quiet preparation. We did not build this to conquer. We built it to ensure no species would ever again face extinction without consequence." He paused. "We have 11 more vessels like New Terra under construction. We call them peacekeepers. Any species that targets civilians will face the same fate as the Vorak." A new age had begun. An age where peace was no longer a dream, but enforced reality. The galaxy would never be the same.